The murders of 4 young girls at the hands of their mother in Washington sparked outrage across the nation.
And that outrage grew when it was learned D.C. social services had been asked to help the children, but they didn't. And now the D.C. government is paying millions to the children's family. Our D.C. Bureau Chief, Sam Ford, is in Northwest Washington. And Sam, not everyone agrees with the settlement, right?
Well, indeed, Candace, the city's attorney general said that the family sued the city for $10 million. So settling for $2.6 was in the city's best interest, though some in the neighborhood of those victims questioned how interested those family members were when the victims were still alive.
I don't think the city should award the grandparents or nobody in particular to that amount of money.
In the neighborhood where authorities in 2008 discovered 4 girls murdered at the hand of their mother, Banita Jacks, a number of the residents today asked why the city's paying the relatives of the girls a settlement.
But to find out that someone whose blood relation didn't do what they needed to do, the same way that those social workers and other public servants were persecuted for lack of taking care of their responsibilities.
The city fired social workers for failing to follow up on complaints from schools that might have prevented some of the children's deaths. Though one grandmother who's receiving funds, Mamie Jacks, testified in court she'd neither seen nor heard from the children in 2 years.
They said the city was responsible for this. We think there's a very good argument that the city was not responsible for the tragic deaths of these 4 children.
So why pay $2.6 million?
But we believe that if it had gone to a jury would be very sympathetic.
The $2.6 million settlement acknowledges negligence on D.C.'s part, paying $1 million each in the deaths of the 5- and 6-year-olds, less for the deaths of the older children. 16-year-old Brittany Jacks' father, Norman Penn, told us by phone, "I wanted D.C. to admit they were wrong, that things were mishandled." Still, for neighbors,
my mom tells me every day, you know, if I go a week without hearing from you, I'm assuming something's wrong, and she'll send my brothers over here.
Banita Jacks was sentenced to 120 years. She is currently in a prison mental health hospital in Fort Worth, Texas. The $2.6 million settlement requires the family to donate about $500,000 of that to a children's charity and to a family education fund. The attorneys will get about $1 million of it. Reporting live from the John Wilson Building, Sam Ford, ABC 7 News.